Inappropriate hand gestures can very quickly and very easily destroy the credibility that you've worked hard to establish. In meetings or in presentations with clients or colleagues, the right hand gesture can add more emphasis and meaning to your messages by powerfully supporting them. And in this short video, I will share with you the 6 hand gestures that you need to avoid so that you don't destroy the credibility that you have worked hard to establish. The first inappropriate hand gesture that you want to avoid is playing with small objects such as pens or glasses or any other little object that you can get and just move in amongst your fingers and play within your hands. By playing with these objects, you're demonstrating to your audience that you're unprepared and that you have a level of anxiety. To project confidence and to project an aura of someone who should be and can be trusted, move these small objects away so that you're unable to play with them or reach them easily, and instead just let your hands rest comfortably either by your side or on the desk so that you are not fiddling or playing with these objects. In meetings, it's very easy to fall to the temptation of resting your hands behind your head and leaning back, thinking that it projects an aura of confidence. In reality, to your clients and to your colleagues, it simply projects an aura of big-headedness. Someone who is overly confident, who is not able to be trusted or not able to work as part of the team. So resist the temptation to lean back and put your head behind your hands or stand with your hands on your hips, because it presents an aura of someone who is self-centered and big-headed. The third hand gesture that I'd like you to avoid is one where you cross your arms. Now, whether that be as you're delivering a presentation or it's sitting around a table in a meeting, by simply crossing your arms, such as I'm doing now, you present the image that you're closed to new ideas. You also project an aura of superiority. Now, if you're with clients and colleagues, that's not an aura that you want to be projecting upon them. You're much better when you are speaking in front of the room, so you're standing, to, if you can, let your hands, arms just hang loosely by your side so that you have a more open posture. If you're sat at a table, don't cross your arms. Instead, just sit with your arms comfortably on the table. Again, leaving your front of your body open. It projects an image that you're open to new ideas, that you're receptive to hearing what they have to say. By closing your arms, you're closing off yourself to new ideas, and that's how your audience will interpret it. So avoid it as you can. One of the more common inappropriate gestures with nervous and newer public speakers is the standing in front of the audience with their hands crossed in a fig leaf position covering their genital area. Now, it's a natural position for those that are wanting to protect themselves, and that's exactly what happens with a new speaker or an inexperienced speaker. They're trying to protect their sensitive areas from attack. Now, it's not going to happen in a speech, but that's the mental reaction to the fight or flight kind of situation. You need to avoid that, because by simply walking out and projecting that image of being someone who is anxious and nervous by covering your sensitive areas, you're showing that you are not prepared and that you're not confident in delivering or even confident in the message that you have to share. So you're losing credibility from the start. Make sure that you let your hands or your arms hang comfortably by your side of your body when you're speaking, or find other expressive gestures so that your hands don't gravitate to the fig leaf position and project a level of nervousness that your audience can interpret and see. When you get nervous, for many people, naturally you start to sweat, and that sweat, it forms on the palm of your hands. Now, for an inexperienced speaker who is nervous, there is obviously going to be an excess of sweat that needs to be removed. Now, the natural temptation when speaking is to just remove it as quickly as possible, and that means wiping the hands on either the body or the legs to dry the palms and remove that nervous tension. Unfortunately, in doing so, apart from making your clothes look unpleasant, it does project the position that you are nervous and you're anxious to your audience. to try and combat this, you're better placed firstly by just pausing and taking a couple of breaths, just a couple of deep breaths to try and reduce your anxiety. And if need be, have some tissues or a handkerchief in your pocket that you can use to dry your palms with. Whatever you do, avoid the temptation of drying your hands on either your body or on your legs to remove that sweat. The final inappropriate hand gesture I would like you to avoid is one which is common in many business presentations, and that's pointing. Now, it's understandable that as a speaker you want to reference the audience, and in many cases that's a positive thing. But when gesturing and referring to your audience, you want to resist the temptation, even in a positive way, of pointing at the audience. Now, Bill Clinton suffered profusely with this when he was early in his public speaking career. He was taught, and this is what I'm going to share with you, the same method that you can use is to bend his finger in, so that if you are going to point and gesture, you can gesture to your audience in that way. Conversely, you can do it open-handed. By pointing, you're making a threatening gesture. Even if it's done in a positive manner, it comes across in a threatening way to your audience. So be conscious of that and resist the temptation to point directly at your audience. If you want to refer to them, maybe use an open-handed palm gesture, or bend that finger back and keep it that way. So at least that way there isn't that individual pointing at you. It becomes a much more subtle, a much more gentle, and a lot less threatening gesture to your audience. We've covered 6 inappropriate hand gestures. Gestures that you want to avoid so that you don't destroy your credibility that you've worked so hard to establish. So when you're speaking with clients, you're sharing ideas with your colleagues, you come across and project the right image and project a level of confidence that shows that you can be trusted and that your ideas are the ideas that should be followed. Now, if you'd like more help with your public speaking and presentation skills, I would encourage you to check out the Public Speaking Skills Academy.com. I have a range of free articles and free advice on my blog that will help you from crafting that perfect message to delivering it with impact. If you want more programs, there are online training programs, my mastermind program, and one-on-one mentoring options. Check them out, and each of them will help you develop your public speaking skills and deliver a message with true impact, and a message that will then influence those that you're speaking to.